guest of honor, a nocturnal attraction here in this castle where slavery thrives. Your mastery, my delight.
All right. Welcome to Sideboard MTG here on YouTube Gaming. Hope you guys enjoy the show tonight. If you do, don't forget to give it that thumbs up. And if you like the content in general, subscribe to the channel. If you want your deck played on the Patreon games, check the link in the description box below for a way to do that. And if you want to play any of these decks and you want to sign up for manatraders, which is a rental service that's easy to use for MTGO, check in the description box for a coupon code that'll save you 15% on your first 3 months when you do sign up. Also use the link. It helps the channel. Alright, so anyway, that's all we've got. And that takes care of everything. Justin Clay has, I'm just going to go ahead and say this one now since we're right here. Justin Clay has actually requested that instead of playing a Patreon deck for him this month, that he wants me to do a video talking about mana bases and, you know, what decisions help influence when I use more shock lands or more check lands, that sort of thing. Because, you know, it's one thing to just have, you know, okay, we have this many colors, but we're about to be in a situation where we're going to have enough lands that you can probably meet most of your PIP criteria, you know, meeting the number of colors, you know, you need 16 blue or something like that. We're probably going to be able to meet that criteria without actually, and still have some lands left over. So you're going to be able to make some choices on whether or not you want, you know, this particular land or that particular land. And like Justin Clay here said, especially where 4-color decks are going to be really possible. I think that that's going to be a big thing. I think if the mana base is smooth enough and things are going to work out the way it should, that we're probably going to start seeing some of our more trusted 3-color, you know, combinations splashing that 4th color. Now we haven't actually had that happen in Standard since Jeskai Black and Abzan Blue and Abzan Red, which were basically that was during the time of fetch lands and Standard. And that made that really, really easy. And it was easy to play, you know, cards like Mantis Rider on turn 3 and still you hit your black source, right? Like, these things were available. And I don't think we're going to have quite that smooth of the mana base, you know, without fetch lands and things like that. But we're going to be able to have a pretty smooth mana base. And we'll talk about that more in the future. So, oh, Tamer Black. Can't forget Tamer Black. That was definitely a thing. It was, you know, Abzan Blue, Tamer Black, and Jeskai Black were some of the best decks back then. But it's mainly just Jeskai Black, right? I mean, come on. Back in HOU Standard? Yeah, back in the day. So you prefer crappier mana bases? Why would you prefer crappier mana bases? Huh? Yes. Okay. All right. Well, I didn't see your previous message. Jan said it was a super expensive Standard, though. So you prefer crappier mana bases. Tamer Black, you mean Moist John? No, because there was actually a lot of blue in that deck. The deck was based Tamer and was casting Savage Knuckleblade. All right, we're gonna move on. It was casting Savage Knuckleblade, and I forget what the black card was. It might have been like Cut, Murderous Cut, or something like that. There wasn't a whole lot of black. I might have actually had some black for like Tassiger or something like that. Yeah. He played then, and every deck was $800. Yeah, my deck was about that much. I was playing Jeskai Black, and then I had Black White Warriors as the backup for that, and it was pretty. They were pretty mean decks. Standard before Eldrazi Summer ruined it all, right? Well, you know what? It seems like people are still having a lot of fun playing in Standard right now, and we're going to be looking at 3 pretty cool decks that you guys have been having fun with. These are all serious decks. We've got Magic Jefe's Mono Blue Aggro, which is right in front of you guys. This is a Merfolk Wizards deck. We'll talk about it in just a moment. We've got Madness's deck here. Now this is White Weenie. Small Packages is the name of his deck. If that'll load here, we'll get a chance to look at it. But yeah, this is a White Weenie deck. 22 planes make up the basics of the mana base, and out of that, we've got a lot of early aggression. We got card draw with Mentor, and then Mentor the Meek, and then we've got a Johnny Adversary of Tyrants, which makes our little dudes even bigger and bigger and bigger, and you get to have those explosive turns by adding to the board and using removal on the same turn, which is absolutely terrific. Just outpacing things. It's a pretty cool deck as well. Again, we'll go back and talk about that one in just a little bit. But first, we're going to play SDGZA's deck. GZA's been a long-time patron here, and most months he does not request a deck to be played. However, he's like, you know what, man, you got to play this deck. And the first thing I said when I looked at this deck was, oh my god, I'm going to be board wiping one creature. They're going to play one creature, and I'm going to be like, so, sweep. Just sweep it. This deck has a ton of board wipes in it. We've got 10 board wipes total here, with 3 copies of Settle the Wreckage, 3 copies of Cleansing Nova, and 4 copies of Deafening Clarion. And if that wasn't enough, but wait, there's more. We've got Teferi, Karn, and Tezzeret as the Planeswalker package here that can just absolutely take over the game. Any of these Planeswalkers can win the game. We've got Treasure Map to make sure that we have enough mana to be able to make these big plays, to be able to churn through our deck and things like that. Color is not really going to matter because of our Chromatic Lantern. And then, if we don't like something they're doing, we just counter it with our Sinister Sabotage or our Ionize or Negates. Now, you will notice that is the win con in this deck. You will be winning with Pure Control and Planeswalkers. Now, that being said, Karn's negative ability here, his Neg 2, has the possibility of making some really big guys, especially if we have a couple extra treasures laying around. I really wanted to see a copy of Search for Azcanta in this deck, but I understand that he's a little bit more on the controlling side of things instead of, like, I don't know. I think Search for Azcanta would have been really good in this deck, maybe in place of one of the Chromatic Lanterns. But Chromatic Lantern seems like a dead card here. I think that we could hit Jeskai colors without needing the additional mana fixing of Chromatic Lantern. But this is what he's got, and this is what we're going to be running with. It looks like it's going to be a super fun deck. I'm excited to be playing Tezzeret. For those of you that don't know about Tezzeret, because he doesn't get a ton of play, his +1 is create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. His 0 ability is draw a card, but if you have Metalcraft, draw 2 cards. Metalcraft means you have 3 more artifacts on the battlefield. And then -9, you get an emblem with, at the beginning of your end step, search your library for a permanent card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. What? A permanent, not an artifact, just anything? That's right. When he goes ultimate, he has the full power of the Immortal Sun. He can just warp things straight to him, right? The Planar Bridge, the Immortal Sun, all combined. He's just straight through your deck, grab a permanent, put it on the battlefield. Seems good, right? And that's the beginning of your end step. So, not bad. I think it would have been even better if it was at the beginning of your upkeep, because you go grab like a Teferi and just drop it in, and then you get to use it that turn. But at the beginning of your end step, you don't exactly get to use it, but all's well, right? Looking at the sideboard here, we've got a pretty straightforward sideboard. 4 copies of Seal Away. We've got 3 copies of Negate. Some additional counter here with Essence Scatter, and Disdainful Stroke. The play set total here with the main board Negate and the 3 in the side. Ixalan's Binding to be able to just have a good clean answers for cards like Niv Mizzet. And then against those decks that are more than likely going to sideboard out all of their creature removal, we can bring in cards like Chamber Sentry, which does make some use of the Chromatic Lanterns. However, I don't think that the deck truly needs Chromatic Lanterns, but I also haven't dived into the mana base very much. I will say that there are 27 lands in this deck, and that feels like just a lot of lands, and if you look at card draw, when we start looking at like where's the card draw is basically in the Planeswalkers and Treasure Map, which are also doubling as the win con. There's not a lot of other card draw here. I think that you know, those spots that would normally be, you know, centered around card draw have been used for Chromatic Lantern, and we'll see how that works. So this is Jizza's deck, and this is what we're going to play. So let's see how it goes. All right, let me get back over to chat and see what's going on. Pull up this historic control deck. Historic control. All right. You're for sure going into mod. Man, I wish I would have kept all of my. I got rid of most of my fetch lands. Not an extremely long time ago. Man, if these were like cycle lands, I'd be keeping this. I still kind of want to keep it, but there's like no card draw. I think we like have to have a treasure map or bust. So I'm going to mulligan. This seems keepable. We're going to be coming in bad slow, but 27 lands. It's feasible that we end up with some more lands. I almost think I could get rid of this one and aim for a better one off the top. Yeah, I'm going to mulligan that or ship that that land. 27 lands. I'm just going to have faith that this deck is going to just feed lands. Okay, so Glacial Fortress would have come in tapped as well, so that's not a huge blow. Right? Jizza stops in all the time, but I used to play against him on Magic Online. He's one of the few patrons that still have the slots for Stream Challenger if they want it. Like, I tried to close that patron bracket off. Oh, wow. Ooh, the value. It's just making dudes. Just making dudes. Okay, well, I mean, that lets us get our treasure map down. I am really glad that I shipped that to the bottom now. So, like, do we just take the chance at the natural draw? A natural draw on Deafening Clarion? Oh no, he's just going to Conclave Tribunal my treasure map right now. Okay. Yes, boss health bar. The boss is currently dead. Working on that. We'll see what we can do there. Yeah, I'll keep up a counter spell here. Like, Ionize seems like it'll be pretty sweet, right? Jeskai Historic, right? Yes, Jeskai Historic, Historic Control, something of that nature. Nothing from the opponent. Wow, okay, okay. I mean, well, we get... I'm assuming he's like one land off of just playing Heroic Reinforcements, and then we're just going to have to counter it, or we're going to get beat in the face pretty hard. It goes down as the DM. I agree with you, sir. I believe this is a Heroic Reinforcements deck. I am definitely countering this Leonin War Leader, though. This could actually be in a Johnny's Life Gain deck because of the War Leader. But we just stopped a ton of damage by dealing with that. Okay, well, I can keep up Negate, which protects me from Heroic Reinforcements. So I'm gonna do that, and we're just gonna pass. Wow, Divine Visitation. Okay, so it's definitely something different. It's not what I was expecting it to be. This is a red-white tokens build using Divine Visitation. 40 board wipes in this deck. 40 board wipes, guys. Okay, there's only 10, but, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get to untap 2. That does me no good. I mean, he doesn't die, though, right? If I wait till next turn to do it, yeah, I'm going to wait till next turn. Just going to wait till next turn. We can keep up Ionize this turn. If he doesn't do anything serious, then next turn we'll have to Fairy with Ionize. I mean, I think it's just better that way. Tiger Blood. Tiger Blood. Adonis Blood. What? What do you... Chance for Glory. Still haven't casted it yet, but the deck is like Charlie Sheen. Tiger's Blood was the name of an energy drink that we had in Iraq. It was pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to go for Teferi here. I think Teferi is the better... I mean, I could just down-tick Karn and have a 3-3. Which is better? Like, just stopping damage or drawing my way out of everything? Who else likes to just draw out of it, right? Let's draw out of it. Settle the wreckage. Nope, that's a treasure map. Alright, well, here we go. Make the 3-3. Emblem in T-5, 4, right? There's heroic reinforcements. He got it. He got it. By Teferi. Or is it just by me? Oh goodness, this is 10 damage. At Teferi. At me. At me. Is he going to change and put everything at Teferi? We're going to buy some more time. Teferi. Me. No. All these at Teferi. 2 at me. 2 at Teferi. Okay. So let's go ahead. Another Teferi on top. I don't actually think I need that right now. Like, I don't think that saves me. I think it's like Deafening Clarion or bust. Let's go ahead and put the stop in our upkeep. Alright, so let's treasure map again. There's Ionize. That's not going to do it. Draw for the turn. Clifftop Retreat. Karn, I mean, he's not going to give me Deafening Clarion, so it's like I need multiple Deafening Clarions to show up right here. We're revealing Steam Vents, Chromatic Lantern. He gives me a Chromatic Lantern. Alright, well, it was fun. You know, we tried. We tried. Yeah, GG Teferi, GG. Yeah, maybe Karn that turn would have been better. I don't know, like Karn, make a token, Karn's down to what, 3? So he had to send more than 1 towards Karn. He had 5 swinging total. I don't know. I don't know if it would have made a huge difference. Seal Away seems really good just because it's early removal. Sinister Sabotage is actually going to be really slow. And Chromatic Lantern breaks my heart a little bit. I want to bring in Essence Scatter, I really do. But I'm also like not planning to counter anything other than his heroic reinforcements. Does it seem right? Maybe run it like that. Just the negates. Just stop the heroic reinforcements and, you know, like Adontos, like things that could go way into the long game. And then as far as early game, oh yeah, yeah. That's probably a must. Can we get away with outrunning the Chromatic Lantern? I want to. I want to try no Chromatic Lantern. Yeah, we've got to have the Ixalan's Binding to be able to deal with the Conclave Tribunals. So, everybody got their play sets of Supreme Phantom for when Orzhov hits and we all rock some kind of new Solar Flare deck. It seems, wow, Solar Flare. Solar Flare was a monster. I love that deck. This is not a bad hand. I am keeping. We're not going to be doing anything early in this game, except for playing lands, passing the turn, and then, you know, kind of going from there. But we are going to start playing, you know, Sacred Foundry and just kind of get into these settles, and I really wish he wouldn't have had that. Why are we playing Lantern in a 3-color deck anyway? You understand Chamber Sentry, but it's probably not worth it. I agree. I don't think Chamber Sentry is worth playing Lantern. No, I'm not bringing this in untapped. Solar Flare was so there was a Solar Flare that outdates me, but the Solar Flare deck that I remember was like I think they were calling it like it was Solar Flare. Anyway, it had a card that would bring things back from the graveyard called Unburial Rites. It had flashback on it. And it had Liliana of the Veil back when she was in Standard. So you would turn 3 Liliana and then you would discard a card, right? And more than likely, you would either discard Sun Titan or you would discard Unburial Rites. And then the next turn, if Liliana was still around, you would discard the other piece of it. And then at turn 4, you can bring back a Sun Titan on turn 4. And if you don't know anything about Sun Titan, he says that when he enters the battlefield, that you get a permanent 3 converted mana cost or less to the battlefield. Well, you had all of these other cards that you would pitch into the graveyard, one being Phantasmal Image. Well, Phantasmal Image said, make a copy of target creature on the battlefield. I'm going to let this happen. Make a copy of any creature on the battlefield, and you would have that make a copy of Sun Titan, which then said bring back another 3 converted mana cost, which you would bring back another Phantasmal Image. And you'd do this until you ran out of Phantasmal Images. And then once you finally ran out of Phantasmal Images, you would like just bring back another Liliana or something. And you know, it was just, everything was great, all fine and dandy. It was perfect. It was all you could ask for. Really, really powerful deck, and it was a lot of fun to play. It was a lot of fun to play. Yes, Forbidden Alchemy, 3 mana, instant speed. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may put one of them into your hand, put the other in the graveyard. Flashback, 1 black, 6 colorless. Is that right? That's got to be right. I'm going to give him all the lands in the world. Here we go. Something I am not excited about doing. But we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Yes, it was an Esper Reanimator deck that had some really powerful Reanimator tokens, or Reanimator targets. Ratchet Bomb too, because tokens were a thing. Yes, there was a Steel Hellkite was in Standard at the time, and there were some of the decks that had just copies of Steel Hellkite in their deck, and which had one-sided Ratchet Bomb on it, which was pretty cool. Oh my goodness! All right, all right. So, do we lose to Fairy? No, we don't lose to Fairy to Heroic Reinforcements here, do we? No, we don't. Yes, we do, because I don't get to untap. Mm. Like, can I even play Teferi right now? So, okay, so if I play Teferi and I tuck Leon and War Leader, if he has heroic reinforcements, Teferi's dead. At that point, we'll be so far behind that we're probably never going to catch back up. I have some life total. We could take a hit or two and see where things go from there, but yeah. I'm just going to pass. Like, I don't think it's worth it to risk my Teferi right now. Again, I've got 18 life points. I think that we can take a hit or two, but we'll find out. You played Worm Coil Engine too to round out the two Sun Titans, right? I played a Quicksilver Amulet back then. I was a little bit more onto the jank side of things. So yeah. We don't have too many more turns we can wait. Ouch. That's rough. That's rough. Heartless Summoning? Oh, yes, that was a deck. I forgot about Heartless. Was that in the same time? It was Innistrad, wasn't it? Man, we had some good decks. Heartless Summoning was jank back then, though, but it was fun. It was some fun shit. It was good, man. I loved Innistrad. Innistrad was a great time. I think at some point we'll probably look back at this current block we're in right now and talk about this block like that. This block seems really powerful, the block coming up. We're currently in a completely open meta where it's just a ton of fun. Like, I gotta take it, right? I've got to take it. Goblin Instigator. Yep. Okay. Alright, so here we go. We're gonna try it. Teferi. Draw a card. Pass. He's gonna make a dude. We'll select 2 lands, untap those. Be a shame if all of his dudes got settled. It would, wouldn't it? Oh man. Your D&D character was a Minotaur, by the way. That's cool. Suplexes them. The suplex. Nothing we can do about that. Yep. Nothing we can do about it. We save that. We're dead on board. He probably still only swings with Lyra. Okay, yeah. Well, we have to settle the Lyra. Have to settle. I think your Teferi's broken. He's not working right. I think so too. No Deafening Clarions. We just never found Deafening Clarion, which is heartbreaking. Legion Warboss. Second main phase Legion Warboss. Where are the Deafening Clarions, right? Like, 27 lands is too much, even in paper. I wouldn't go over 26 in this deck. I don't think the deck's trying to like get those like late, like you're not trying to get into. All right, so I'm going to try to be as like as polite and as constructive as I can here. I don't think you need 27 lands when by turn 5 you can have 7 untapped mana based off of your treasure map alone. So I don't think you need 27 lands when you're running treasure map. Also, because of the card filtering, you're going to be able to get see more lands. So I think you're going to be able to get away with like 2 less lands in the deck fairly easily in paper. If you're playing on Arena, you could probably just run like 10 lands and get everything you need, because you're going to draw all 10 of them every game anyway. Sinister Sabotage is currently not being played in most of the Jeskai lists that are not running Chromatic Lantern, mainly because it's just easier to cast cards like Ionize. I also think that you would probably get away a little bit cheaper by removing maybe 1 or 2 of the Cleansing Novas and putting in the Copy spell. The Expansion Explosion would give you a lot of room to play around with your Deafening Clarions and make your Deafening Clarions a little bit more powerful, allow you to snag spells from opponents, things like that. I mean, you can even copy a Heroic Reinforcements if you want to throw up a couple blockers for 2 mana. I mean, it's not a bad card, so Expansion Explosion might fit in. If you were going to stick on the treasure map, Chromatic Lantern thing, I think you need a bigger finisher. I think you need something else, something that, like Madness says here, suplexes things. And even though Teferi, he's a heck of a fighter, he can put up a fight, you could probably get away with running some Niv Mizzet in this deck. Your deck's not very far from the, let's go look, the tier 1 Sky Control decks. These decks are running 25 land. You'll notice no Meandering River. I don't think that that's even necessary. However, we don't have the settles and other things that you have. There are the Deafening Clarions. There's a little bit more targeted removal, which is not found in the main board here. And not just saying, telling you, GZA, hey, go and just net deck this version of it, but this version just plays smoother. And I think that smooth the play will help out a ton. I don't think you really need, if you'll play around with your mana base a little bit, I don't really think that you're going to need your Chromatic Lanterns. So like that's kind of where I'm at on it. I mean, if you want to run cards like Rekindling Phoenix or whatever, these 1-ofs, they're just kind of one of those fun things. But like you're not even, like, your entire deck is topping out at 5 converted mana cost, right? Like you're never casting a 6 mana Niv Mizzet. Like there's nothing here, right? Like there's no Carnage Tyrant you got to get to, like if you were in Bant or something like that. There's no big huge spell, no Fight with Fire that you're trying to kick and copy, no Banefire to finish things out with. And since you're not going that high up on the converted mana cost, I really believe that you have a lot of room here for some changes in your mana base. And then once you start making those changes in your mana base, you're probably going to free up a couple more cards with not needing the Chromatic Lanterns. And I think the deck will be a lot smoother there. One of the things I'm not real fond of is if you're looking at playing on curve, you're looking at playing a treasure map on turn 2, and then on turn 3, Chromatic Lantern? That means you can still activate the treasure map, which that works really well. But what works better in most situations is treasure map into a land and then a 2-drop. Lava Coil is normally used in this spot because you can activate your treasure map or play a tap land, depending on which one you're forced to do there, and still have enough mana available to Lava Coil a baddie that you don't want around. So as far as looking at the curve of the deck, I think that you're going to want to go, you're going to want treasure map. I'm not going to say anything bad about treasure map at all. It's a great card, and I think you really want to get there. But like just treasure map and activating it. So if you are planning on activating your treasure map every turn, then you're going to want more cards that fit in your curve with an activation in there as well. So on 3 you're wanting to cast a 2-drop. On 4 you're wanting to cast a 3-drop, which is normally your Deafening Clarion. And then on 5 you get to just play Teferi and then untap and activate anyway. But as far as that goes, I would look into fixing my curve more around that. But all in all, Jizza, it's an interesting deck. I love the fact that you got Tezzeret in here with the additional, artifacts and stuff. It's a really good run at a Tezzeret deck. Again, I think Chromatic Lantern's just not necessary here. Barry Drake, how you doing, sir? Welcome, welcome. Jack Pabs is here, guys. What's up, Pabs? Who else we got? I noticed we had some other people sneak in. I didn't give Rush a shout out. McFats, Jareth Miles. Happy New Year's, everyone. Happy New Year's. Everyone's got New Year's wishes in the chat. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the deck. Again, I think I would restructure the deck a little bit more to work around Treasure Map and its activations, which means more 2-drops, which will mean that you actually get to activate Treasure Map on turn 3, and you get to start casting spells and dealing with the board. So that's what I got for you, Jizz, man. It's a sweet deck. I think we just need to look at the curve just a little bit more. All right, so next we're gonna let's do Madness's deck, right? I'm gonna save the mono blue aggro for last. Magic Jefe's here in chat. I'm sorry, man. We're gonna do some mono white before we do the mono blue. This is probably going to be quick, one way or another. Playing Nutsy and eating finger foods was a good time last night. That sounds like a great time. Just hanging out with friends and eating chips and sandwiches and yeah. Jareth Miles, when's our next D&D? He has as far as Jareth Miles is going, he's talking about DMing D&D here in chat, but he's been pretty good. He has not total party killed us yet. Matter of fact, I don't think any of our campaign has died, so that's pretty cool. I expect him to change that at some point, but 2 weeks. How's the baby girl, sir? Jareth Miles just recently become a father. For those of you that haven't had a chance to congratulate him, he's in chat. I would do so. He's it's a little girl too, man. She's gonna have him so wrapped around her finger. He's a big softie. He's about 6'3", 250 pounds, 280 pounds, but he's a big softie. She's gonna beat him. He's gonna be so whipped. Sing meow instead of nah, yeah, and long December. Okay. Alright, let's talk about Madness's deck here. Alright, Madness, you got anything for us? Like, we just have to know about this deck, something that doesn't just normally stick out. Like, I mean, it's basically mono white, right? Why Hazda Marshall? You don't see Hazda Marshall getting... I've met Jareth. Yes. Jareth Miles is one of the people who actually got me started playing Magic in the first place. Yeah, him and his cousin Joe got me back into Magic. I had played a little bit in junior high school, like back in the mid-90s, but never anything serious. Back when we thought, when it said sacrifice a creature, that we could reach across the table and sacrifice our opponent's creatures. Everybody's been there, right? But yeah, that was the last time I played, and then I met these guys at factory I worked in, and they got me back into Magic. We started going to a local gaming store, and here I am, right? Like 10 years ago. Yeah. God, it hasn't been that long, has it, Jeff? Well, to another 10 years, sir. All right. Let's talk about Madness's deck. I changed your lands. They're not the basics, madness. Alright. Hazda has some secret synergy with Mentor of the Meek, letting you make a dude when your hand is mostly dead to card. Draw a card. Okay. Okay, so you just have an extra body here. So that's kind of like Haunted Witness. You just... Okay, I see what you've done. You're only running 3 Haunted Witness, and you're only running 3 Hazda Marshals. Do we have another 3 of somewhere that you've made room, like just squeezing some room in for, for some different tech? I kind of like that. It seems like an arena best of one mentality where you just cut back on some of the things your deck does so that you can actually have these extra lines. So, yeah. You prefer the full arts anyway? Well, it was the only full art I actually had 22 copies of, so I wanted them to all be the same. So, Charge is a 3 of, so is a Johnny. Yeah, but I would never expect a Johnny to be a normal 4 of or Charge. So, I like Charge though. There's a lot of people playing mono red, and Goblin Chain Whirlers making a comeback as that deck's really good against these type of decks. So with having Charge and Venerated Loxodon in your arsenal, you get to play around. Goblin Chain Whirlers really, really well, and I like that. So I mean, 17 1-drops here. I mean, we're looking at 14 creatures out of that 17. Not bad. I kind of like it. Where's the Legion's Landing though, man? Like, where is Legion's Landing? I think that if you run Legion's Landing, you get to cut an extra land or two. Your local gaming store has made new renovations to their store and open back up tomorrow. Plan on going over and checking it out. See, that sounds great, Rocker. That's one of the things I'm worried about, is that people are going to start getting further and further away from their local gaming stores, because that is the backbone to Magic. I mean, Magic for me is about meeting other people and hanging out with the other people, and that's not something we really get on Magic Arena. You know, I mean, I get it a little bit more than most, and if you guys hang out here in chat, then you get it. So, Nick says, just smash the like button and went ahead and left a comment and subscribe. Wow, Nick, thanks, man. Like, all the things. Well, I appreciate it very much, and I hope you do like the content. I hope you actually like the content if you're subscribing. But let's talk a little bit more about. So you say Hazda Marshal could be like Legion's Landing? I have some Legion's Landing, and I think Legion's Landing needs to be in the deck. I think Legion's Landing's better than Hazda Marshal. All right, look at that. The community's like, welcome to the channel, Nick. Welcome to the channel. McFat says hello. I have two. Like, I have 2 in my collection that I've just like pulled from some draft or something like that. So, kitchen table style Magic over MTGO or Arena. Yeah, I'm sitting down and being able to. There's that element of like, pardon the language, but of talking shit and bluffing your buddy, and and going, yeah, I know you've got this, but I don't care. I'm playing this anyway. Yeah, I mean, that just element of. My wife made Jareth Miles literally throw his deck on the table at a tournament one time, right? And she still to this day loves that memory and cherishes it and brings it up to him from time to time. But, I mean, people get mad when you play Sorin and then Sorin's Vengeance and you kill him. Good times, good times. But, right, I mean, and you don't get that emotion of hanging out with your friends and having those fun moments and not just pissing your friends off, but, like, sometimes they're going to do it to you, but, just all in all, you don't get that emotion unless you're hanging out with people and stuff like that. And we come a little bit closer. We come a little bit closer on in the community here. We get to talk, and you guys get to watch me go on tilt from time to time. But yeah, we just don't get that. And I really want MTG Arena to give us a little bit more. of a way to connect. Me and Rush were talking about this earlier in some communication. We were talking about how Arena just doesn't have a friends list, doesn't have a buddy list. Like there's no way to find your friends and things like that. So like, and the direct challenge thing's a little bit, you know, awkward. You can't even like test best of 3 with your friends and stuff unless you go back and build another deck that is your sideboard and then that sort of thing. So I mean, it's interesting, but it's still in the beta, and I expect that you know, good things will come with Arena. So, all right, so we've got a White Weenie deck here. We've got Mentor of the Meek, Ajani, Venerated Loxodon, Ajani's Pride Mate, which means, you know, we're putting a little bit more emphasis on cards that can gain life, like Healer's Hawk. A lot of times you won't see Healer's Hawk being run in these decks, but you know, a charge is going to be really good because Healer's Hawk dies really hard to Goblin Chain Whirler, so charge is going to be great. We do have, you know, we're still keeping that copy of Hazda Marshall, but we've also got some Legion's Landings here. Another just really good turn 1 that, you know, once we get to flipping it, can end up, you know, saving our hand in the late game when we've got nothing else to do with our mana and we've been settled a couple times, yada yada. But we've also got, you know, Leon and Vanguards, which can put counters on our Johnny's Pride Mate before we ever even turn our cards sideways. All of these cards enter the battlefield as, you know, 2 power or below, which means, you know, they trigger the Mentor of the Meek. The majority of the deck can be brought back with the -2 on a Johnny, and everything loves that +1, getting those additional counters, making our dudes bigger and beefier, and swinging in is absolutely wonderful, which, you know, Venerated Loxodon does the same thing. So, I like the deck. I think that, you know, all the parts are here. All the pieces are here. I understand, you know, why Hazda Marshall was put in place of, you know, Legion's Landing. We happen to have a couple Legion's Landing around. That might be something you guys want to think about if you're needing an additional, you know, kind of Legion's Landing style card. You might want to consider Hazda Marshall. Other than that, what I would like to see in this deck and what I feel is kind of missing is History of Benaya, right? Like, but that's still what, a $20 card? And then I know some of you guys, what is going on? Why is Adanto in the sideboard? I have the same question. Like, why is Adanto in the sideboard? And what matchups do you bring Adanto in for? Like, what matchups is Adanto just absolutely crucial? You just Jeskai control or what? And then, you know, we've got some Settle the Wreckage. We've seen Lewis Scott Vargas run this, and which makes Legion's Landing even better, so you can get away with a pin trick. Lewis Scott Vargas showed us all how to do it. It was great. It was a great play. I watched that live. That was like watching watching Brett Favre throw the 80-yard, 85-yard pass for the record live and back in 2008 or something. It was great. It was great. Great moment. Anyway, Baird, Stewart of Argav? Vigilance. He's a 2/4. Creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker you control unless their controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. This can be really good to tax those low mana decks, those aggressive decks and things. Plus you get a 2/4 body that's not bad. Right, LSV with the most epic settle of all time. We've got some Shield Mayors against the red decks, gaining a little bit of life, being able to continue pushing a threat versus the red decks, because remember, the best thing to do against a red deck is to kill them. The longer you let the deck go, the longer you let the deck go, the more likely it is to, you know, kill you. The red deck is just going to kill you. So being able to continue to push damage and bring their life total lower and lower to 0 is where you want to be. And then make a stand, kind of like our charge, but this is a little bit bigger and can actually save all of our creatures. This is going to be really good in like mirror matches and things like that. So not only are we wanting to you know, like attack our opponent and just get a little bit larger than them, we want them to lose in combat without us losing in combat. You know, make a stand is great for that. So sweeps it out from under Madness and tosses it at Jareth. What? Oh my goodness, what are you guys doing here? All right, so that's the sideboard. Let's get back over to chat, see what's going on. Oh, what are you guys talking about? I turned away one moment to do a deck tech, and you guys you've went crazy on me. Everybody here except for what, Luigi? What? You don't like him in the aggro matchups, but he's amazing in control matchups. Understood. What about Pride of Conquerors instead of Charge? I think he's wanting just like the cheaper spell, like so he can still add to the board and still have protection against Chain Whirler. Like when I see Charge, I normally think Charge as being, you know, anti-Chain Whirler effects for, you know, decks with tons of 1/1s. Throws the Chariot Madness. No, it was like 2009, let's say 2007, 2008 season. Yeah. Yeah, it was right before I got married. Yeah. That's fair. You just like the big boost saving from the sweepers alone with the winning, but you just saw him make a stand. Okay. Also impressed and clap. I have no clue what you guys are impressed at. Oh, continues in the setting position, displaying excellent balance. Okay. Alright, so you guys keep flipping tables, catches all the cards and sleeves them. I love it, Barry. Flip the table on Barry and he's gonna catch all the cards and sleeve them. He's gonna dance circles around you while he's like. Anyway, let's go play this deck. Let's have some fun with it. You guys can keep throwing stuff at each other in chat. Stream Boss is down for renovation. Working on that. Should be back tomorrow. We'll be back up. Alright, so we've got small packages by Madness. Let's see if we can get an opponent. But I bet you Johnny Football has broken it. Is that what you said, Johnny Football? Is that Drew Brees? Is Drew Brees Johnny Football? That's Johnny Football, man. Okay, you guys are getting into the D&D thing now. Like you're setting stuff on fire. Oh, Barry said he already knows a hot foot, man. You ain't got to set the floor on fire. Johnny Manziel is Johnny Football. What are you impressed at there, Rush? Johnny Football. Alright. Smoke and Ruby. Well, we've got a couple lands. We've got a 1-drop. We've got a 2-drop. This seems okay. Seems playable. Breezes. Okay. Why do I have a stop in my draw step? What a thing. Alright, Haunted Witness, go! Daddy's dancing in the fire. You ever heard the story about the chicken on stage, right? They set the floor on fire and make the chicken dance. I'm sure about that. Right. I seen the small packages. Yeah, I thought that was a little bit funny myself. Sure. Maybe there's an argument to play Mentor of the Meek before I swing, so that if he kills the Haunted Witness, but then I wouldn't be able to pay for it anyway, so. Would he have swept the board with a golden demise last turn. Like, is this enough to make someone want a golden demise? All right, I'm gonna go for the mentor. Tier 1 jank. Is this Leslie or Marcus? Either one. Welcome, welcome. Giggity goo. Okay, so. Alright, that happens. You guys are having way too much fun. Wait a minute, there's no such thing. I'm being greedy on the Venerated Loxodon, but I'm about to try to get rid of that Search for Escanta. I'm going to attempt it. I mean, I assume he's going to just like hard counter to get rid of this, but yeah, we're definitely just trying to get rid of Search for Escanta here. I could have played the Venerated Loxodon, gotten a little bit more power onto the battlefield. I'm kind of expecting like Ritual of Soot to eventually hit anyway. Maybe not. I think this is worth it. I think this is worth it. I mean, it's not a ton, but it does make our Knight of Grace outlive like a what's it called? Oh my goodness, Golden Demise, right? I mean, we still lose Haunted Witness, but Golden Demise won't hurt us near as much after that. He has to choose right now on whether or not he wants to kill this Haunted Witness. No, he can't do this anyway. So if he's sitting back on a Moment of Craving, then there's just not much he can do. Okay, so he's just going to blink it. Alright. That's fine, opponent. That's fine. We still got to sneak down this Venerated Loxodon. How do I feel about Thought Erasure? Justin Clay's like, I love it. I love it. He likes the card. You know what? I'm going to agree with Justin Clay here. I like the card. I think the card's a good card. Legion's Landing. He knows the last card we have in our hand. No point in being coy about it. Is he going to put some effort into stopping it right here? No, he's going to contempt the big boy. Alright. Getting in for 2. I would love to flip this Legion's Landing against the opponent right here. Remember, this would have been a Hazda Marshal. I think Legion's Landing is more important in the versions of the deck that have some sort of Ascend. Ascend is really powerful. Like Legion's Landing is really powerful against Ascend because it's more than just one permanent going on the battlefield for 1 mana. So. I'm just going to hang on to this Plains. There's just no point in showing it. Wouldn't mind hitting a Johnny at this point. A Jaunty. Thought Erasure is one of those cards that really punishes your opponents for their choices. So like if they kept a particular hand for a single reason, like, okay, this one card's here, because I have this card, I should be alright, that sort of thing. Nice. So, like, I like Thought Erasure, so, just checking in has, no, yours is next, Magic Jefe. You're up next. Again, I haven't gotten a chance to hit you up since I seen the deck list, but like the deck list wasn't complete. There was only like 48 cards in the list that I seen on the Reddit. So I was just curious if you had another deck list. But I tried to fill in the gaps with the obvious cards. I mean, you were playing a deck that was based around Merfolk and Wizards, so like I put in Wizards Retort and a couple other things. But we're gonna do this now. It is 1, right? Better be 1. Yeah, I just want to draw this extra card. Oh, it was a land. Okay, you made some extra comments. I will go back and check it out, sir. We get to be kind of greedy here. Oh, I butchered that, right? Because I was supposed to Adonto. Alright, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. Yeah, I was supposed to Adonto first, and then I would have been able to put 5 +1/1 counters out. But yeah, yeah. Ran into a mill deck the other day while trying a Nexus deck, and just started laughing. Yeah, that seems like fun. Like you can't mill me, dude. Not without. I don't know. You just can't be milled, right? Can't. Yeah, we got canceled. Well, he's also running Patient Rebuilding. Okay. Can he stop that damage? Sure. I'm doing it. I'm charging. Charge! I mean, this will put him at 2. I mean, we're not worried about the lifelink, but him being at 2 seems really, really nice. I'm not even playing the Knight of Grey spec. I'm not. Yeah, I'm just not even going to play it. Like, he has to answer what's currently on the board, and anything that would answer everything that's currently on the board would also answer Knight of Grace. So I just don't feel that there's a reason to put Knight of Grace back out into harm's way when, I don't know, charge off the top would probably be good. Like him sweep the board, and then we like Adonto, and then we just draw another charge, and just pop you for 2. That'd probably be pretty sweet. Yeah. Why green for... Oh, hey, we're going into the sideboard. He couldn't answer it. He couldn't answer it. You fought Mono Blue Mill earlier on Arena in best of 3, which was interesting. All right, so he is a control deck. I think I want a Adonto Vanguard, but the problem with the Adonto Vanguard is this is a Dimir control deck, where we've seen that most of his removal was Moment of Craving and Vraska's Contempt. Now, sure, he could have a lot of other removal that we just don't know about, including Golden Demise. And all of these would just absolutely destroy your Adonto's Mag. I'm getting there, Madness. I'm getting there. Because we talked about earlier, we bring this in against the control decks. And I wanted to explain why I didn't want to bring this in against this particular control deck. Mainly because most of what Adonto does at getting around Deafening Clarions and Cleansing Novas and things like that, it doesn't get around the Dimir-based control spells. So Adonto's Vanguard's not the greatest thing in the world. Here, Ixalan's Binding, however, is. Ixalan's Binding is going to be really good. Typically, Dimir has had in history. Now, this is not just our current setting and standard. Normally, Dimir-based decks only have 1 or 2 good threats that they're going to finish the game with. We remember, last season, they were only running like the Scarab God and then like 1 other creature. Now there were the Scarab God decks, but we're talking about the control control versions. I'm expecting this control deck to only be running the Scarab God and like one other. So I'm going to bring in Ixalan's Binding because that's going to help us deal with a ton of things. I don't believe we need Charge as much. I also don't think that Make a Stand is going to be as good as I originally had thought it might be. I am interested in Shieldmare though, just as an additional threat. But I don't know exactly what I would want to take out for that additional threat. Maybe it's Hazda Marshal because I don't believe that I'm going to be able to have those creatures on the battlefield to make do with it. But I am going to bring in some Shieldmares here. Maybe not all three. Maybe just a couple for a couple extra attackers here. And red for removal. What? Green is for fogs and naturalize in the sideboard. Adonto is primarily for fighting Jeskai. Any suggestions on what you could swap a slot or two of those out for? I don't think I think I would want to have at least 3 for the Jeskai matchups. This is not a bad hand, guys. Like this hand is going to like push some damage. It will cause him to have to react. He'll have to deal with the Healer's Hawks. Yeah, I'm just going to drop the Healer's Hawk down and pass the turn. I think that you would get away with. I think you would get away with having. Like, there's a lot of cards that I believe should be in this deck that we don't have, right? Like, for 1, History of Benalia would fit great. For 2, all right, there we go. I mean, he's burning through his cards, which is fine by me. History of Benalia, Benelish Marshall, these are all really good. I get that you've got a Johnny as your kind of other Benelish. Yeah, Benelish Marshall and Search for Escanta could both definitely fit in this deck. So one of the cool things about History of Benalia, especially against a deck like this, first off, Blue-Black has no way to deal with your enchantment, right? It's just not in the wheelhouse of Blue-Black decks is to be able to deal with an enchantment. So that is that's a plus, right? Marshall is a non-bow with Mentor. Yeah, I don't actually think you need Mentor that much, right? I get that you're wanting. I think the Mentor is what should be in the sideboard, and you bring that in certain matchups. Probably this matchup, but probably not. You got to think about when you're playing against Dimir decks, they're going to single target your stuff out. So having any type of like synergy and like expecting things to be on the battlefield and stuff like that. Enters the battlefield or becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you gain 3 life. I did not realize that when it becomes a target of a spell or ability. I did not realize that, guys. That is so good. But yeah, History, expensive, Marshall, non-bow. Gotcha. History is multiple creatures in one, and it's impossible for Blue-Black to deal with it. I'm gonna swing. I mean, I expect him to have counter, so I don't expect Johnny to get anywhere. So I'm just gonna try to run the Shieldmare back down, and if we start burning through his count with Shieldmare, then okay. Right, value is the best way to beat up Blue-Black. That's a pretty legit way to look at it. Let's see what you got. Did you spend your counter spells? No, he did not. He did not spend his counter spells. Our opponent is now out of cards, and we are going to continue for the next 10 turns beating him to death. A Johnny saves them all, though, Tier 1 Jank. You are right that all those cards lose. Now he's going to start drawing cards. I could have just gotten rid of that, I guess. Oh, he drew one off of us. He got rid of a Johnny, too. Maybe I should have gotten rid of that. I gave him a free card there. I mean, patient rebuilding is one of his win cons. We've seen it in the game, in the first game, so seeing it here makes me rather use it. Fine. Alright, so he's just going to blink it. That's fine. I mean, he did draw a card off the blink. Vraska's Contempt. Alright, so that was his last card. We'll see if he hits a land on us here. He did not hit a land, so he did not hit an extra card. He did mill over a Conclave Tribunal, an Ixalan's Binding, and a Johnny Pridemate. He will draw some additional cards here off Chemist's Insight. Plays a land. Search for Escanta. We hit a land, so we're going to take a turn off of attacking this turn. I'm going to get the patient rebuilding. And then I'm going to get the search for Escanta as well. Like, I just don't want him to have any type of card advantage. Right now he has to like draw a card and then pitch that card to be able to kiss Chemist's Insight. So, 12 damage over 3 turns for 3 mana. Yeah. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah. I want to get this dude down. I mean, again, we're taking turns off, which is vital turns that we should be smashing into his face. But he's going to Chemist's Insight. See what he can get. Can he answer this? It looks like he might have found an answer. It's a cancel. Okay, opponent. He hits land and other card. We're getting in. 1 damage at a time. Don't act like it's all good when your opponent drops history on turn 3, right? Because that ain't no fun for nobody. Well, I mean, your opponent's having a lot of fun. All right, now we're only 5 turns away, guys. 5 turns away. You're more afraid of Thought Erasure? Because Thought Erasure happens on turn 2 and you don't get to play your History of Benalia? I want to play Wrath Compassion with History of Benalia, and you'd be able to like you get to play History of Benalia in their combat or whatever, and then like untap and make the other one. Come on, dude. Still on the 5-turn clock. He gained 2 life. Oh, look. Actually, we're on a 6-turn clock now. That's right. He removed one of my dudes. Luckily, though, we are hitting all of our land drops. Yep, hitting all of our land drops, so no problems there. There's no way this resolves, right? He's drawn way too many cards. Resolve. Just let me uptick it 1 time. Nope, there's a cancel. Okay. 4 more turns, opponent. 4 more turns. 3 more turns, opponent. 3 more turns. And the opponent's just like, draw, go. Here. I should have played the Mentor in case he kills the Haunted Witness. And we would have got the additional damage in, but I wanted him to actually spend some mana on that. I really wanted to, like, for this to survive, but it doesn't look like it's going to. And if we hadn't got that Search for Escanta, we'd have been so destroyed. Like, we would have had no chance. No chance. Let's go for it. So now he has to kill the Leonin Vanguard? Nope, he just counters. So is he just like mono counter over there? And he doesn't have a way to deal with the 2 little dudes on the battlefield? Is that where we're at? Oh, all counter spells. The opponent just couldn't deal. Like, he could deal with everything that we could possibly cast, but the little dudes that we happened to squeeze in got there. Launches a flaming chair at the opponent, right? Ah, you blue player. Everybody hates blue players. Even those that are playing blue hates blue players. Right? I mean, it looks like he just had a ton of counter, and it's like, well, okay. 10 lands out of 22. Did we? We did. We did. We hit 10 lands. Oh, well. Madness is like, yeah, I beat the blue-black mill deck. There you go. We talked about a lot of the different things that I believe that you should have in this deck. It's really easy to just to look at any of the 4 or 5 different copies of mono white that are floating around. When I do think about the mono white deck, the deck that comes to mind, like if I was trying to make this as tier 1 as possible, is you know, your Pro Tour winning deck, right? Now, the Pro Tour winning deck is a very good deck, right? And we're talking Legion's Landing, Haunted Witness, Sky Marcher Aspirant, but, you know, it's got more of that Ascend feature on it. And when you are looking at, you know, more Ascend cards and things like that, then it's really important that you have cards like Legion's Landing, which put 2 permanents on the battlefield. When you have cards like History of Benalia that put multiple permanents on the battlefield for 1 card. Same thing can be said for Heroic Reinforcements and stuff like that. Now, this was the Pro Tour winning deck, and we're seeing a lot of this in Arena. If you guys are in the platinum ranks in Arena, then you're running into a ton of this and a ton of Jeskai. That's what Platinum seems to be very, very full of. This is a very good Game 1 deck, and you know, it just has a good percentage. I would say if you ran this deck, you know, with no mistakes, you would have at least a 51% win rate, if not much, much higher. The deck is definitely that 51%, which is all you really need for Arena. If you're going to grind it out, then all you need is to have a 51% deck and just put in a ton of games. Madness, you're looking for additional sideboard cards to replace your Adanto Vanguard with. I noticed you weren't running any Tocatli Honor Guards. I definitely think that it's something that you could consider if you are running, like, especially the more you're thinking that you might run into Golgari decks and things like that. Adanto's Tocatli Honor Guard is really, really good there. However, I just don't know if I would like to. I don't know if I would like to like not run Adanto in my main board. So, if you are looking for another, like, a build that's more based around your style of deck, which I don't even know if I have it anymore. Do I have? Yeah, here we go. Here we go. I still have all of this pulled up. So, this was Lewis Scott Vargas's version of blue-white. I mean, of of Boros, right? The main deck has 0 red spells in the deck, so you could cut the land base, and just run off of this. But this is a version that runs a Johnny's Pride Mate, and I know that you really like the Johnny's Pride Mate. So I mean, you've made you've made shifts in your deck to make sure that a Johnny's Pride Mate's, you know, tended after a little bit more, with, you know, your healers, hawks, and things like that. And LSV and their, you know, their team, they went through a lot of the same cards that you've got, and you're really close to the same thing they're on. But they are on History of Benalia's and they're on Benalish Marshall. You'll notice the one card that they did cut was the Venerated Loxodons. There's no Venerateds over here. Pride of Conquerors, Overcharge, things like that. But all in all, the deck's really, really close to your deck. And I don't know if I would say that the power level of this deck's much higher than the one that you have. However, I would say that Dauntless Bodyguard's pretty important when you start running important creatures. And when I start thinking about important creatures, I'm thinking about Benalish Marshall and a Johnny's Pride Mate. Like, when you have a Johnny's Pride Mate that has gotten up there to, you know, 5, 6, you know, power, you're really wanting to protect that. And cards like Dauntless Bodyguard do really well with that. So, these are some cards that you might want to consider playing with. Those are some builds that you might want to go, you know, look at and study those a little bit more. If you're just wanting to see a lot, and you've probably already looked at them, but if you're wanting to see a lot of the mono white and the Boros decks, just go look at the top 8 of the Pro Tour. Just pull up the Pro Tour from Guilds of Ravnica, and like most of the top 8 was Boros. So there's a lot to do there. Mentor of the Meek is really the only important creature of that kind. Yeah. I'm not for sure that Mentor of the Meek's really what you want. Like, unfortunately, I just don't think that... I mean, he's a good card advantage engine, but he's got a stick, and you've got, like, no way to protect him in the deck. Make a stand in the sideboard, but that means that you're not playing Mentor of the Meek till turn 6 if you've hit all 6 of your mana, or all 6 of your land drops. So, 5 if you flipped your Legion's Landing. So, like, I just don't think that you can protect Mentor enough, and I think that all decks have enough removal to be able to deal with a Mentor. Not that Mentor is a bad card. The card's amazing. It's just in a really bad spot right now. So, McFat says, "Hey, is 2 Search for Escanta? Hey, is 2 Search for Escanta last season? Everybody dropped to 1. Not everybody dropped to 1 copy of Search for Escanta. We actually seen a lot of people drop Search for Escanta altogether as far as like pro level Magic for treasure maps. So Search for Escanta is getting played a little bit less for treasure maps. You will see it. Like, here's a Grixis Niv Mizzet deck. No Search for Escantas. When we look into the sideboard, there's no Search for Escantas there either. I don't think. I could be wrong, but I don't think they are. Everyone's kind of going for treasure map, and that's just because that, you know, if you play it on turn 2, you can have 7 mana on turn 5, which is enough mana to cast a Niv Mizzet and dive down, right? And that seems to be the way most of the control decks are going. The format's fast enough right now that most of the control decks, they can control, but they need a quick finish. Like, you don't normally have time to sit around and draw out this big long finish and take these small increments of damage over time, because it's not small increments of damage anymore. Like, if games are being played and finished by like turns 5 and 6 in our current meta, it's definitely a 4 through 6 meta. Where that's where the games are ending. Like, you know whether you're dead or not by like 4 through 6, and that's like not the control player's favorite place to be, right? The control player is more like, I want to see turns 9 through 20, right? And we're not in a meta that supports that right now. So most of the control decks have actually, you know, started using Niv Mizzet, which allows for these really quick finishes, and you know, using card draw, which is something control decks like anyway. So, you know, just casting spells, drawing cards, things like that. So control players, eek, right? Anyway, I just wanted to answer that question for Madness there. All right, so next here, I've got to pull this up really quick. We're going to jump over to the Reddit. I'm going to see what I've messed up because, again, I didn't have all the cards. We might have to make some tweaks, and then we'll play this deck the way the author intended for it to be played. So give me just one moment. We'll get to the Reddit. and check Jefe's deck out. Wizard's Retort, Merfolk Mist Collar. Dive down, but make meta changes as you see fit, since you're not heavily into Magic right now. Alright. Plus Niv is perfect for the mirror. Yeah, and for Jeskai Drakes, like their deck, in order for their deck to work, they have to churn through cards and, well, land a Niv and watch them churn. It may just be here. Hey, here we go. Nelrim, Merlin backwards. Alright, so Merfolk Mist Collar, Wizard's Retort, Op, something like that. Maybe Dive Down instead of Op. Okay, alright. So he basically just gave me all of his comments there. So, Mist Collar. Mist Collar. What is Merfolk Mist Collar? Afraid I don't know this here Merfolk that you speak of. Merfolk Mist Collar. Oh, you can sacrifice it if a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast. Exile it instead. I don't think that's necessarily what's coming back from the graveyard. If a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast. So, I mean, like the Drake stacks don't even run Arclight Phoenix anymore. So, if Arclight Phoenix was still a thing, then Mist Collar might not be that bad. But the Drake decks, like I said, you know, most of the Izzet Drakes are coming. Like even Yuya Watanabe, who was big on Arclight Phoenix decks, even he has come off of like this is his current build. And his current build's Niv Mizzet, Ralzeric, Enigma Drake, and Crackling Drake. Whereas Yuya Watanabe's previous build was Arclight Phoenix. And like I said, you know, most people have come off of that. So if there are still Arclight Phoenix decks around, then maybe Merfolk Mist Collar would be a good option. I just I don't think so in the current meta. Watch, we're about to play against Arclight Phoenix deck now. Oh, it was for the Merfolk theme. So, you've got Wizards and Merfolk. I think I ended up with more Wizard theme with my additions. I think I put Exclusion Mage in, where in all reality, it should probably be River Sneak, right? Right. Okay, so... One-drop Wizards. The main wizard you have is Siren Storm Tamer. If you get that down on turn 1, then you can hold up Wizard's Retort on turn 2, which is really common play. We just want standard wizards. We don't want all this, and we just want the blue. Nope, not the red ones. The blue ones. The blue ones. Is that it? What? Where are... Oh. I typed wizards. My bad. It's a wizard. Come on. What is going on? I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what it is, but I'm doing something wrong. I know I'm doing something wrong. Maybe we just wait. Oh, there we go. Alright, so... Mystic Archaeologist? Maybe? That's a 2-drop. I like Nabin. I think it's just Siren Storm Tamer. Like, if I was going to get crazy and add any other type of Merfolk or Wizard to the deck, I think that because of your sheer number of Merfolk, like, I think it's probably just like River Sneak or something like that. Where is River Sneak? He's not a wizard. He's a Merfolk. He's a Merfolk. Yeah, River Snake. Here, it can't be blocked, which makes it a really good card to carry your Curious Obsession. Um, and like that's pretty much the main reason right there. Is just it can't be blocked, and you can get in for additional damage. You can hit for larger. He's protected by Kamina or Kapala. Sorry, he's protected by Kapala. Dive down would also fit in the deck, like instead of some Exclusion Mages or something like that. I ran Exclusion Mage is the 3 cards that I've got thrown in here. We've got the Wizard's Retort that you asked for. Dive Down's probably the card you want, like, because if you do get this Curious Obsession on one of your other creatures, then you're really going to want a way to protect that creature. So Naven was supposed to be in there. As the only non-Merfolk Wizard. Okay. Merfolk Wizard, Merfolk Wizard, Merfolk Wizard, Merfolk Wizard, Merfolk Wizard, Merfolk Wizard, Pirate Wizard, non-Merfolk. So Siren Stormtamer and Naven. The reason I actually chose the other wizard is because it also works with Naven. Is the Exclusion Mage works with Naven. You can bounce multiple creatures back to their hand, which isn't bad, but it doesn't give you any way to actually protect Curious Obsession. So we're probably looking at Dive Down here or Spell Pierce, right? So maybe, yeah, we'll pull some Dive Downs. All right, and then maybe run it like that. Riverwise Augur. Yeah. When I think of Augur, I think of Augur of Bolus. It was a good card. We played a lot of that card. All right, so let's go check it out and see where we're going with this. This is an aggro version of Mono Blue. Not as much of the Mono Blue tempo where you're sitting back and you like some games you're a control deck and other games you're an aggro deck. This deck's probably going to try to be aggressive 90% of the time, which may like if I ran this deck more and more, I might end up testing it to the point where I actually just wanted more. See, this is good. Yeah, this is okay. I'm going to keep this hand. If we can get a Naven down, he lives, and then we get to Silvergill Adept. We get to draw multiple cards. All right. That might happen. There's an Elf Druid. Alright, so if he's mono green, then we should be okay. If he's green-black, then Naven may die. I almost blocked that. I did. I really did. Wild Growth Walker. Well. Would you look at that? These will be good. So I just want to actually get something on the battlefield. We'll draw a couple additional cards here. Naben's about to get juiced up. We're going to draw another card. This could get mean, guys. Like, this could get really mean. So now the threat's on Naven. Like, if he wants to do things, he needs to kill Naven. You wish they never added Druid to Land of Worlds. Was it originally just an elf? I mean, we've got 2 river trap weavers or water trap weavers, so like we're gonna be able to get in for some damage. Whether it's enough to make up for this, I don't know. But we're going to get in for some damage. It's like going back and touching up a masterpiece that doesn't need a touch up. Right? I gotcha. Alright, he's getting in. Mr. Frisky here. Well, only thing we can do is keep drawing cards. So... tap everything down. I mean, this is fun, right? We draw cards. Nabin with Water Trap Weaver seems good. From Should Caliber? Soul Caliber? Yeah, I probably should save Merfolk Trickster there instead of Water Trap. I don't know. I needed to get in, right? Without him killing. Whatever. He gains 1,000,000 life again. Okay. I guess we just swing. I mean, yeah, he's gaining life, but we're slowly ticking on him. We're drawing cards. We're not in like a horrible position here if he just tries to Jade Light again or something like that. The problem is if he casts Fine Finality, we're just done. This game is over. I mean, this is the only thing we could do is just make Nabin large enough to survive. I mean, I can Trickster in on the J-Light Ranger. And we can still keep pushing damage. I mean, we can also, like, you know, add Kapala to the battlefield and Storm Tamer. Yes, we would love to draw a card there, Naven. Sweet. Well, we have a backup Naven. We do not have a backup draw spell, but we have a backup Naven. Sure. This doesn't protect Naven at all, but it'll protect Merfolk Trickster, and there's a Doom Whisperer. That's gonna be bad. Yeah. Oh, madness. Did the list have Syncopate or Spell Pierce? No, I don't think either of the list had Syncopate or Spell Pierce. This is brutal, guys. Like, this doesn't play. So he's got a 5/7, a 6/5, and a 6/6 on his side of the battlefield. Yeah. Not a lot going on here. Not much that we can do here. Syncopate and Spell Pierce. So Spell Pierce might have been good to help against the finale. Finale, yeah, fine finale. However, Syncopate would have been really good versus quite a few different. Yeah, at a bunch of different spots. That's supposed to be in there. Okay. Where Syncopate's supposed to be in the deck. I don't remember seeing that anywhere. Is Syncopate supposed to be in the deck? Did I really miss Syncopate? Alright. So we've got... Like, I'm building this deck off of this, right? Oh, I didn't want to click Abzan Bugler. That's Madness's deck. Nobody wants to see that. Yes, I upvoted Madness. I upvoted. I upvoted this one too. Alright, so Nabin. Okay. I'm looking for Syncopate. No Syncopates, alright? No Syncopates. So you can't just throw extra cards out there on me. Right? Well, we should have had this in there. We should have had that. I had 5 extra slots. You should have just known to put that in. Not a mind reader here, sir. Alright. Fair enough, though. But we have lost this game. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop it up. We'll go into the sideboard and see what we can do from here. Essence Scatter is going to be really good in this matchup. Sleep is okay, but Entrancing Melody is even better. All right. Seafloor Oracle is pretty cool. We got to keep hitting for Seafloor Oracle to actually be really good. Seafloor Oracle basically makes like all of your river sneaks and your unblockable creatures just naturally have Curious Obsessions on them, only they're not like larger. So, you know, that sort of thing. Anyway, so I want to bring in Entrancing Melody and I want to bring in Essence Scatter. In order to do that, I'm probably going to take out the Tempest Scholars and the Seafloor Oracles. If things are going bad for us, Seafloor Oracle is not going to be that great. Again, I think Seafloor Oracle needs to be played with more unblockable creatures. I think that you get a lot more value out of unblockable creatures than with not having them if you're running Seafloor Oracle. Other than that, I want to keep the mana base low. I don't want to have as many 3-drops as possible. And then we've got 23 lands. I'm actually going to cut this down to 20 lands. I know this deck doesn't have the draw power of the typical versions of this deck do, but I'm going to try it with just the 20 lands. I've been running the mono blue tempo decks for quite some time, and I believe that you can get away with 20 lands on them. It's been happening a lot to me lately, so I'm going to do it. This is not a bad hand. I mean, we're going to be a little bit slow. I would rather have more 1-drops here. This is why Mistcloak Herald is a really good card. Gives you more chances at having 1-drops. Mistcloak Herald's also a 1-drop merfolk, not a wizard, but it's a 1-drop merfolk that, yeah, we're gonna roll with this. We're gonna roll with this right here. If we can stop the couple important cards, we should be okay. This can resolve. Oops. I was supposed to do that at the end of his turn. Wow. Alright. This is fine. This still works. Like, because now we're set to stop everything that's bigger than us. We'll take some damage. We do have to worry about Carnage Tyrant. Carnage Tyrant is going to be a major problem. Another reason you normally want to run Tempest Gen, because these decks have no answer to Carnage Tyrant whatsoever. So if you are running against these Golgari decks, which their major plan is to Tempest Gen in, or major plan is to get to Carnage Tyrant, we have to stop this. I'm going to use the Wizard's Retort here. There we go. This works. Now we can pass. Sleep is greater than Tempest Collar. Yeah, because Sleep's one of your few ways of dealing with Carnage Tyrant. Sleep's actually really good. There's a reason the Mono Blue Tempo deck, which is my deck for the season. I'm climbing the ladder with Mono Blue. I think that Mono Blue is one of the best Game 1 decks in the format, and I've played a lot of matches with Mono Blue. You only want so many Wizards. There's only so much. Like, I've tried it with Wizards, I've tried it with Merfolk, and you actually just want some combination of both. Like, you want the tempo-based cards, because some games you're playing just as aggressive as possible. There's a ton of games where I've went turn 1, being on the play, of course, turn 1 Mistcloak Herald, you know, turn 2 Mistcloak and a Siren Stormtaper. I got 3 1/1s on the battlefield that are hard to block. And, you know, at this point, on turn 3, I'm sitting here with a Spell Pierce and maybe a, you know, a draw spell. And I'm getting in for 3 points per turn, every turn. And that's a pretty quick clock. And that starts at turn 2. So, yes. Naban is actually one of the few Wizards that showed up in my Merfolk or in my Mono Blue Tempo list. At the beginning of the season, I was running this instead of the Warkite Marauders, which everybody else kind of got onto the Warkite Marauders and the Nightville Sprites. I was running 2 copies of Naban just because he's so good with cards like Merfolk Trickster and with cards like Exclusion Mage, which are really powerful. Exclusion Mage and Merfolk Trickster are really, really good, especially when you're getting additional triggers off of them. So, you ran him in Fish in Modern. Seems sweet. Well, our opponent said that he would be right back, and so we're gonna let him finish his quick break here. But yes. So originally I think he had Jace in the sideboard, and I wanted more chances at actually getting to play a Jace on screen. And we had that little bit of lee room there, so a little wiggle room, if you will. So I put one of the Jaces in the main board because I really, really want to cast that spell. It's Mono Blue Tribal, and we know that the Mono Blue Tribal decks, whether you're going Merfolk or Wizards, is slightly, you know, a tier or so below the Mono Blue Tempo list. I guess we let this happen. It's like the really big stuff that I'm most worried about. I mean, I'll kill this Merfolk Branchwalker here if he swings. Curious Obsession off the top would be great. Ravenous a Chupacabra. Negative. He's not racing. I'd really like to hit another land. I am just going to pass. Yep, we're just going to pass. Super Saiyan Lincoln. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he goes Super Saiyan. Mer Wizards or Merfolk? Solar Flare, Zombie, and Bants. Thoughts on Flashback Stream? We'd have to play it all in Modern. But I would definitely be willing to like go find those lists and pull them up, and like we just have some nostalgic something where we talk about them or whatever. Like I would definitely be game for that. We need something big here, real big. That's not horrible. If we hit one more land, we can steal the Jade Light. If he Wild Growth Walkers, we can steal it. So anything 2 mana we can steal. Thundermaw Hellrider. Red deck wins. You'd get murdered. You'd get murdered. Well, that's not like the scariest thing in the world. I mean, we can just keep that tap down. I think that I can draw a land in 2 cards. I'm gonna risk it. Risk it for the biscuit. Can I get a land in 2 cards? There's one. And there's a second one, and it's a land. I am a god of magic. Oh, yeah. That's right. Sometimes you just get lucky. Spend some life, dude. Aww. Well, we're in a fair position right now. Because next turn, yeah, we're looking fairly good if he doesn't, like, finale us right here. As long as we don't get for... Wow, I mean, he surveilled a 2. All Father Garfield smiles upon us. Right? The All Father Richard Garfield smiles down on us. Invite people from the stream. Madness, I mean, who would have access to Liliana's and things? Damn it, opponent. We need to hit 2 back-to-back lands, ladies and gentlemen. 2 back-to-back lands. That was not a land. We do not have much time. I don't know. At this point, I'd be willing to just steal the J-Light Ranger and start swinging with it. Probably should have done that anyway. Like, do I kick off double dive down right here? Like, we're dead, right? Like, at this point, like, we're playing for that one hope and a prayer. You know what? Let's not. Let's not do it. Let's not do it. Let's do this. Let's just take our 12 damage, go to 6. Pray for a Merfolk Trickster off the top. It's not a Merfolk Trickster. I'm not paying 5 mana for that. I will, however, steal this thing. We're still dead, though. We're so dead. We're so dead. Because he's flyer. He's a flyer, and we can't do anything about it. I should have stole this last turn instead of playing the Kapala. Then we would only taken 6 in the air. Yeah. So, Jeff, Magic Jefe, if you are still around, check out these versions of Mono Blue, right? One of the big cards in Mono Blue right now. First off, you can't really get away with running Curious Obsession unless you have some way to guarantee that it's getting through unblocked every turn, right? Like, so if you don't have unblockable creatures in the deck, I think that you just need to really be careful about Mono Blue without unblockable creatures. You need some number of unblockable creatures. As far as Merfolk go, you got this and you got the River Snake, neither one of which are wizards. So like I think that building the deck, like, you can either go with, let's build it wizards, let's build it Merfolk, or if you want it to be Merfolk wizards, then this is about where you want to be, right? Like, yeah, I know a Djinn's not a Merfolk or a wizard. You got Exclusion Mage, which is a wizard, but not a Merfolk. Human Pirate, Merfolk. Like, it's Merfolk, and it's pirates and wizards and Merfolk, oh my, you know? Siren... I don't know. Anyway, there are a lot of wizards here, and you do get to run Wizard's Retort fairly easily. But this is where I would go with Mono Blue. As far as price differential goes, like, you're only looking at, like, you know, $30-40 to build this entire deck in paper, if that much. And that's just because some of these cards have slightly went up a little bit, but most of the deck is like commons and uncommons. So it's a really good arena deck. I have pushed Platinum 2 with it so far. Although last night I dropped back down to Platinum 3. It was a bad night. It was a bad night. I tried to play some more after stream, and, like, I don't know, just too much Theraflu or something. I don't know. But anyway, this is where I would go. I really would. The newer versions of this deck are running some numbers of Spell Pierce in the main board, mainly because of online on Arena and stuff like that. You're running into, by the way, other people were running Jace, but the newer versions are running some Spell Pierce in the main board just because it allows you to get that, that History of Benalia on turn 3 pretty easily, right? So you can get away with that. You'll also notice that this particular deck's only running 20 land. I think that we're going to get into some trouble with habits we're about to develop based on Arena. This is no longer just talking about this particular deck. I'm actually just talking to everyone at this point. I think we're about to get into some trouble with some Arena habits. I've been trimming land on my Arena deck and still doing okay with it, I guess. I don't know. I did start losing last night, but it wasn't because of mana screw. The habits that we're starting to get on, we're getting into these habits of, we're getting to do tons and tons of games, so it feels like you won a lot, but it also does, like, you may not have won as many as you think you have, because you get a lot of wins and then, oh, I'm just losing, well, I'll scoop and I'll go to the next game, and that's going to, like, give us this false sense of our deck's better than it really is. You're going to go to paper and you're going to get crushed with the algorithm or whatever, where you get to look at 7 cards, where the computer looks at 14 cards and gives you the hand that is best based on lands and spells. So you're not getting true mulligans, like, you're getting a free mulligan already on Arena, which, you know, means that you get to play more of your hands, more of your opening hands, which doesn't feel as bad. And I get why they did that for a video game, but again, you know, the more Arena we play, the more it's going to hurt our playstyle from paper. There's going to be a huge difference in playing paper versus playing arena. And I'm not saying we shouldn't play arena. I'm actually enjoying arena. I'm enjoying trying to make this climb. The mythic, and it's a lot of fun. It really is. Best of one is a whole new monster to understand and learn, and you know, do you keep a deck that is just truly consistent and you make everyone else swing left and right, you know, to cover all the other decks, and then you just take your percentages and say, you know, I will win 51% with this particular deck with its consistency. From time to time we will run into people who have swung far to the left and they're able to stop me. Other people are going to swing far to the right, and I'm just going to crush them, that sort of thing. So, like, you're going to end up with a lot of different strategies in Arena, and I just think we all need to just keep it in our minds. Arena is a video game and should be played as a video game, whereas paper is going to be a different monster. And when you start cutting down to, you know, 19 and 18 lands in your paper deck, you might find that you're losing a little more than you think you are, or getting mana screwed a little bit more than you think you are. So just kind of keep that in mind, you know, going forward, because I know everyone's playing a lot of Arena, and we're cranking out a ton of games. I think I played like 30 games last night or something like that. It was crazy, and ended up like losing 3 ticks all in all. Like, I ended up losing like 7 in a row, and then I started coming back, and then I started losing again, and I started coming back, and started losing it. So I'm just kind of hitting this null spot right now, but we're putting in a lot of games, and that's a lot more games than most of us are used to putting in, which is really good, and it's going to help us all, you know, get more practice in, more repetition, and we're all going to get better at Magic. But just keep it in mind when you try to, you know, export your Arena deck to paper and take it to F&M, and you're wondering why your deck just doesn't work. Well, think about that. They're 2 different worlds. So anyway, that's going to do it for our subscriber decks, or the Patreon games for tonight. We've got another episode coming up Thursday. I assume that tomorrow night we're going to be doing a Devs deck. I assume that he's got a Devs deck coming out, but Magic Jefe, thank you very much, sir. It made me feel bad. I was like, man, if I pick the wrong cards for his strategy, then that's not going to work really well or whatever. But yeah, a 60 card deck would remove a lot of the guessing. 75 if you're feeling ambitious, man. This is the full 60. Thanks. Brewing for next week's SS and Patreon. Sweet. Good to see you back brewing. I hope that with Magic Arena and stuff, you can kind of get back into Magic a little bit. I know you kind of faded out of Magic a little bit for a while, and that happens. I mean, like, I don't know anyone that hasn't, you know, left Magic and come back. And like Brad Nelson said, you know, a lot of times it's your friends that bring you back into Magic, and that's something else that Arena ain't got a lot of. We ain't got a lot of ways to be friends with people. So, I mean, I'm running into a lot of the same people in the Platinum tiers, but I think that's just because there's not a lot of Platinum players on during the hours that I'm playing. But or I could play some Arena. Just reposted your mono black burn deck for Subscriber Sunday, and even put matchups so far in the comments. Rocker's putting in some work, ladies and gentlemen. This man's getting a little more sophisticated with his deck techs. Oh, you can... No way, Magic. Man. That's... Trust me, man, that is horrible. That broke my heart when my computer died. I got very lucky, and was shown some love. Do you know anyone that left Magic and never came back? I know people that have left Magic and haven't come back yet, but I'm not gonna tag never come back on. They're just not back yet. But even those people would still go to an event if you could, like, hey man, pre-release this weekend. I'm paying you $25. I keep the cards, but you're playing them. All right, I'll go. Yeah, I know a bunch of them people. Yes, I could play some Arena. I will probably play some Arena for you guys here very soon. Oh, you thought this blue deck was by Madness since he's the Merfolk guy. Well, Madness found out recently, Jam. Right? Hold on now. He's a closet case white weenie. Right? He likes it. He said it himself that he just recently found out that he might be a mono white player, right? So, yeah. I probably worded that horribly. But I tried to use some of the same words you used, Madness, but hopefully you'll forgive me for that. Anyway, some Hearthstone streamers. Yeah. That's a good thing. Like, originally I was like, man, why are these people playing Magic over here? And then it was like, wait a minute. Don't we just want the community to get bigger? Like, we want the community as far as like the Sideboard MTG channel to get bigger, and all the people that we hang out with. We want that to get bigger, but don't we actually just want the Magic community in general to grow? So if Wizards is going to pay the Hearthstone streamers to bring their audience over to what I feel is a much more superior game, chest pound, Magic for life, right? But I think Magic's a superior game, and I think that the game, like the in-depth, strategy and gameplay itself will actually steal a lot of the Hearthstone streamers, or a lot of the Hearthstone players, a lot of the Gwent players and things like that. Like Merchant came from Gwent, and I actually like Merchant's content. I mean, a lot of times I go, man, this deck sucks, but he's still playing it and he's having fun with it. So, I mean, there's that. Yes. And if nothing else, Rocker, that is like the big takeaway. If more people join the Magic community in general, then there'll be, overall and over time, and it will take some time for some of that bleed off of new arena players to start hitting, local gaming stores and hit paper, and some of that will bleed off into they want to play some modern, and, like, wait a minute, there's more powerful cards than we're allowed to play with right now? Well, I want to check those out, right? And, that's going to happen. And I think right now we're just waiting on most of our arena crew to kind of, like, I don't want to use the term grow up a little bit, but, evolve. You know how when Magic players are new to the community or new to the game, they're wanting to stick, all of their 8 drops or 7 mana sorceries into every deck they can, and this card's awesome. This will just win the game. Damn, I died by turn 5. Well, but Magic players have to evolve, and I hate to say it, but I think we all evolve, to become more spikish, as time goes on, but we do that with any video game. Like, most of the time, you're not going to play a game like World of Warcraft or PUBG, for example, right? We could do an MMO or a first-person shooter, and I could give you the same example. In World of Warcraft, you're not going to show up to a raid, which, in my opinion, a raid would be the equivalent of your weekend tournament. You're not going to show up to a raid with less than min-maxed. Less than a min-max setup. Like, your raid leader would be like, yo, dude, why do you have points in that ability? That is a PvP ability. Like it says against a player on it. Those are 3 wasted points that you could have in this other spell that would save the whole party in 1% of the game. Alright? We're going to be fighting that boss tonight. That 1% is going to happen. We need that skill. Get out of my raid unless you're going to go change your shit. So, go respec. I don't care about the gold it costs to respec. Go respec and get back here. Like that type of thing. Or, you're playing PUBG and it's like, I'm not running a UMP without a lightweight grip on it because lightweight grip is bugged and the gun won't move. Right? So, how to min and max in every video game. I think that, as Magic players evolve, we start to min-max in our decks, which in our community people just call that spiking, but whatever. But that's how games work, right? that's what you want to do. I mean, even in Dark Souls, people learn to min-max in Dark Souls. I have to take a hit from this opponent so that I can do more damage, so that this next fight only takes me 21 seconds versus taking 24 seconds for the extra swing, so that I can do a 36-minute run, right? Like, so, like, no matter what video game you play, there is a best strategy to play that video game, and min-maxing normally helps you get there. You know, so yeah. Praise the poise, all right? Praise the poise. Yeah, well, I'm talking about like for whatever. Yeah, your 60% spike, maybe 70% spike, depending on the deck. Yeah. I think we always want to throw a little bit of jank, a little bit of fun, a little bit of our own spice. But most of the time, as you start evolving, you learn that you only have room for 1 or 2 spice cards per deck. And, you know, as you start building those better and better decks, you start building the more meta decks, you're like, okay, I think I can put in this one of Sarkhan's Unsealing or whatever. And then, you know, you kind of get around there. The Sarkhan's Unsealing is a deck that we've spent a lot of time with and stuff like that. And, you know, the deck's not dead, and I still think that the Naya Dinos deck is a solid tier 2 deck, and think that it's even worth playing around with. I'm actually even going to play Sarkhan's Unsealing for you guys one more time before rotation. This is the version that I'm going to be playing for you guys. It's a little different than what we had talked about. I have played around with it a little bit more, but Sarkhan's Unsealing, I am still going to play it, but ended up with more dinos than I originally thought I was going to end up with, and I needed more removal, and Savage Stomp ended up coming to terms. So, anyway, right, we need to remember our training. It will save us the fundamentals. There you go. Said it perfectly, McFat. It's better than I've been trying to do for a while. Also, starting to enjoy Black Ops 4's Battle Royale mode. Not as goofy and as unbalanced as Fortnite, but definitely more fun, right? And still not as good as PUBG. You mean that's sweet and all, but rotation and until fall. Oh, did I say rotation? I meant the next set comes out. Oh, okay. You believe Obi-Wan said that? Okay, my bad. Yeah, I'm not a Star Wars fan. I almost said Star Trek to just troll you guys, but, you know, whatever. I actually am a Star Trek fan. I like some Star Trek. Alright, guys. That's all I've got for tonight. Remember, if you want to help support the channel, there's a lot of ways you can do it. You want to be a patron, you can do that by joining as a member here on YouTube Gaming, or check the link in the description box below. Check us out over on patreon.com. If you want to throw me $1, you can, and if you want to pay for a deck to be played every month, there are still slots available for that. I think we've got like 10 more slots that could be taken for that if you guys want to jump in on that. We'll play a deck a month for you for your patronage. That's about all I can offer. But anyway, what else we got? That's it. That's it. We've got probably a Deb's deck coming up tomorrow. I don't know when Deb's coming out with his deck tech. His next deck tech. It should be very soon, if not, if he's not playing with spoilers this week. And then we've got you know, more Patreon games coming out. The last set of Patreon games coming out on Thursday. There may be a couple extra stragglers that might come out like Saturday or early Sunday. But we will have all of those out before Sunday. Any other announcements? Anybody got anything for me? Now's a good time. All right. Toby John Zamboni said it? Okay, cool. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had fun. We'll see you next time here on Sideboard MTG. Maybe a community arena stream. All of my arena streams are community streams. I just don't have anything I want to do on arena for one set thing, right? Like, I don't have all the cards, so I can't play all of your decks or like decks you guys want to play and stuff like. I can't do it. I don't have the cards. So whatever I do on Arena has to just be community Arena streams. So yeah, we'll probably do that here sometime really soon. I was gonna do some drafting, but I'm kind of torn right now on like whether do I want to draft any more Guilds of Ravnica. I'm not really worried about the ranked draft. Do I even want to draft any more Guilds of Ravnica, or do I want to save my gold so that I can get more of the new cards when those come out? So, do I know anything about manatraders lottery? I do not. I haven't heard anything about a manatraders lottery. Sirius said that he won 1-year deal last year. I know they had some serious after Thanksgiving deals going on. It was like 45% off, but it was like 45% off your first month, which I'm 15. My coupon's like 15% off of your first 3 months. So I don't know. I don't know, Jan. I don't know. manatraders has been like I've had manatraders for free for the past year, so I wouldn't know. Like if there is a lottery and things like that, I'm not in on it anymore. Considering I don't have a paid membership. I mention them about once per stream. I think I'm required to mention them once a week, right? And I'm required to stream about Magic and have one of their links in my description box. Like I think that's like my only requirements, and I do a ton more than that. But managers is a really good service. So, do you have my arena number posted? No, I don't. We'll do that right now. We'll do that right now. You can save wild cards for cards from sets that aren't in the current draft format anyway. This is true. This is true. I will post my arena number here. However, unless I'm knowing to direct challenge you, unless I am direct challenging you, then like your queue just won't pop up unless they've changed something. So Jankovic? Jenshevik? I don't know. That's a parody of our paladin. Okay, cool. In case you guys haven't done it yet, the holiday event. I mean, I was supposed to close this stream out like a few minutes ago, but whatever. The holiday event, I think that's still up until what, the 4th? So you guys still have a couple days to play the Holiday Pauper event. Again, I do have a pretty sweet deck. Oh, I joined it. Maybe we'll play that at some point. But we do have a pretty sweet deck. I did the deck tech on it. That description's out there for you guys if you want it. I refuse to play anything other than mono blue lately. Let's see, profile, here we go. There's my number right there, 91738, sideboard MTG, hashtag 91738. So if you guys want to direct challenge me or something like that, we would have to set up a point where we could do that. Yeah, I've got to grind back up to Platinum Tier 2 again. Like I said, I had a bad night last night. So you got all 8 cards for your 2 accounts day 1. Yeah, my wife built a deck. Like I went in and was playing a lot of mono white, playing versus a lot of mono white, and she was like, "You can play my blue black," and I did, and we got all of our cards. So she's got them on her account, I've got them on mine. So other than that, that's it. Like that's it. There's my number. I don't know why you guys want it, because there's nothing you can do with it, because if I don't hit... Where's the button? Where's the button? If I don't go to direct challenge and type your name in, we ain't challenging. We ain't doing nothing. Nothing. Anyway, you posted the Pauper deck too. Awesome. Thought maybe we could give some packs or something. I don't know how you want to do that. I mean, I could buy a couple packs. I can buy 3 packs and get another wild card here. And we do a quick pack opening. I can do that. I want to save my gold for the next set though. So, however, I do need some Ixalan cards, right? I need some Ixalans. So we're gonna buy 3 packs of Ixalan, and we're gonna crack those. If you do want to gift packs to the stream, then that has to be done through either PayPal or the Cash App. That's the only way I can get that money directly to any type of reasonable time, because super chats take over a month to get here. Anyway, we got a Spell Swindle, Merfolk Branchwalker, Dive Down. These are all playable. This is really playable. This is good. This is a very playable card. We got One with the Wind. That was fun at one point. Elaborate Fire Cannon. Not bad. Legion Conquistador. Yeah, so none of this is really playable, except for this one. This one's really playable. Bishop of Rebirth. Okay. All right. Last pack. Got another couple super playables. Got that mythic wild, or that rare. We got a Ixalan's Binding, which is great, and another wild card, along with no good. That's it. Oh, Look Out's Dispersal is a good card. That's good. Hey, a Spell Swindle. I knew you would like that, Marcus. I knew that. Now I know it's you, Marcus. I know it's you. You guys have been sneaking up on me lately. It's been Leslie when I was thinking it was Marcus. And then when I think it was Leslie, it was Marcus. But you like Spell Swindle, so you're Marcus. Tell other streamers out there to know their community like that. Huh? Right? Okay. I don't know. I've got nothing else. So that's it. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. And we'll see you next time here on Sideboard MTG.